This video is going to help you get your audiobook ready for distribution. We're using Findaway Audio, but if you're going directly through Audible or some other source to distribute your book, then you can use those specs to set it up to make your files ready for upload. But this is going to show you how to do it for Findaway Voices, and I'm going to probably do a video for Audible since that's also very important as well too. So there are a lot of videos ahead, but my name is Scott Lynn, and obviously I do audiobooks. I have a total of 3 audiobooks that are out there now. I use 2 different names, so I won't go into the second name, but I'm into the swinging lifestyle, so that's what my books are about. And in this video, I'm just going to show you how to get your files ready for Findaway Voices. So the first thing you need to do is you need to know the specs. Okay, so I already got the specs pulled up here. So what you need to do for each file that you have is, first of all, I'm just going to deal with the technical part of it. This part is easy, like the length and everything is easy. The main thing you need to know is, for number 1, it has to either be an MP3 or a FLAC file. Okay, your bit rate has to be a constant bit rate. That's very important. I'm going to show you how to do that. It has to be at 192 kilobits per second or higher, and your sample rate has to be at 44.1, which is CD quality sample rate, pretty much. That's where it starts at. And you have to have a lead time of 0.5 to 1 second. So for each file, the beginning of each file has to fall within that range. And then you have to have, at the end of it, anywhere from 1 to 5 seconds at the end. And then you've got your RMS. Each file has to be between negative 23 dB and 18 dB with a peak value of 3 dB, or between 3 dB and 60 dB, of course. That's your peak value. And then I think that pretty much covers it. As I look through here, yeah, that's everything you need to set this up, set your files up to make sure that they're ready to go. So now, we're going to show you how to do that. Okay, I use 2 tools when I'm recording audiobooks. I use my favorite tool, which is Cubase, and I use a free tool, a tremendous free tool. I cannot give more props to this company. This tool is phenomenal. I use this particular tool right here, okay? Odyssey. Odyssey is an excellent tool. So I've already loaded up my file. This is for chapter 5 of my book. And as you can see, just by visually looking at this, you can tell that this audio is too low just by looking at it. It doesn't look like a healthy file, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to increase the volume. So we're going to do that first. So I'm going to hit Control A to highlight the whole file. The first thing I want to do is I want to analyze where I'm at. Basically, I need to know like what my RMSs are. So when I go here to measure, I see that I'm at a negative 30. I'm out of the spec. Okay, negative 30 is where I'm at. As we talked about before, in order to present a file that is acceptable, you have to be within negative 23 to negative 18. So I am out by 7. Now my sweet spot is negative 21, so that's where I'm going to try to put this file. And the other thing I want to tell you is, whatever you decide is your sweet spot after listening to your files, that's where you want every file to be. Your goal is going to be to get every file at that particular number that you decide that is your sweet spot. That's the number you want. So we got this here, right? So first thing you're going to do is make sure that this is highlighted, of course. Don't forget that has to be highlighted. You're going to go up to effects. You're going to go down to volume and compression, and then you're going to go to amplify, of course, right in front of me. Click on amplify, and that's going to give you an option. So this is what it'll default automatically to put you within that range. It's going to default to a number, but you have to decide if that's the number you want. Let's just use this first to see what happens, right? So you put that in there. Now that looks like a healthy wave. Everything about that wave looks healthy. You know, the size, the peaks, you know, these right here are your peaks, obviously. This is your bottom right here. Everything looks healthy about that wave. Let's go and analyze it again to see what it says now. Now it says -20. Remember, I said my sweet spot is 21, so I'm going to change that. But it's within the range. If this is what I wanted to do, and then one thing you have to realize is the lower the number here, the lower the negative number, the louder your sound is. So let's keep that in mind. I'm just going to take one off it because I like mine to be somewhere within that range. So we're going to go back to the amplify here, and I'm going to do a -1. Let's just move the slider. Not going to have to be precise to be -1, but well, so -1.3 is good. Let's apply that. All right, see how it got smaller, and then let's go and analyze again and see what happens when you analyze it. Where does it take you to? And now right there, see, I want it to be 21 point something or another. That's where I am. That's how you get the volume ready. Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna show you something real quick. This is something you don't really have to do. Let's say you did, like, you had all kind of really crazy peaks. I'll actually make another video for this, where I'm going to talk about this. But let's say you didn't like that peaks. So you put your cursor wherever your peak is at that you don't like, right? And where did that peak go? Let's just go with this one just for an example, right? And then, okay, so you put your cursor right there, and after you go, we're going to zoom in so I can get a real good look at that, right? Let's just say I wanted to bring that down, right? I'm going to zoom in a little more so I can really see what I'm looking at. All right, this is what the wave looks like. You would highlight that wave, and you basically do the same thing you just did. I'm going to make a whole video on how to do this when you've got like a lot of peaks that are like, they just look like they're out of whack. Anyway, so once you do that, you're going to go back here to, I could go repeat, but that's going to be way too much. We're going to go back to volume, amplify, and I'm just going to bring that down, just like maybe 1 or 2 at a apply, and then you bring it down, and it's going to bring that down. I'm going to show you that trick a little later on, what's talking about working with your peaks. But so anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that because that's not what this video is about. So I just like saw that and decided I'd just do that real quick. Alright, so I still could use a little more, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is, remember now we're trying to make this in spec. So after you control your volume issue, everything else is going to take place when you export the file. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to export the file. So you're going to go to File, go to Export. We're going to export to MP3. That covers one area. Okay? And this is where all the magic happens. Simply, this is where it happens. Alright? So you need a constant rate, right? Got to change this to constant. Very important. I don't know what other programs you're using, but it's going to probably be a little more difficult to find that. But you want it to be constant, right? You want it to be at this bit rate. It's already set, but I'm just showing you what you would do if it wasn't set to that, right? And then the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure that it is join stereo. If you don't do join stereo, it's going to produce 2 stereo tracks, a left track and a right track. You don't want that. Alright, so that is going to cover all of the things you need to cover in order to make this ready for Finding Way Voices. You know, you've got everything covered. You've got the bit rate, you've got constant bit rate, you've got it set to be an MP3. We've already covered the audio issue with the volume. That's pretty much what you need to do. The one other thing I want to mention, if you're working with Finding Way Voices, this is something important. You cannot use an artificial human voice. It has to be a real voice. A real person has to voice your file, if or your files rather. If you're using an automated, let's say AI voice, and I have used that in the past, I'm in the process now of correcting that for some of my books because none of them can actually be on Findaway. And the reason why Findaway is so important is because it reaches a lot more sources than just Audible. If you go through Audible to do it, you know, that's only one outlet. But if you do this, there's so many different places, you know, like Spotify. Like you can get your audiobooks available on Spotify, on Google Play, you know, of course Apple Music, which is also included with the Audible stuff. But there's like so many places, like libraries can actually borrow your, like have people borrow your book, make so it's going to be available for libraries as well. There's so many different sources that you can reach that you cannot reach by just doing Audible. So anyway, last step here is to save it. Obviously, give it a name, save it, and once you save it, you've basically created your file. It's ready to go for your audiobook to be uploaded to Findaway Voices. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. I'm going to be doing several videos for people who produce audiobooks. This channel is all about that. Please like my channel because you guys know how important that is. And share my videos. Please share my videos as well. Subscribe. Also very important. All these things will help me and will allow me to create more videos, believe it or not. So, and any questions you have, you can reach me at scottlynnauthor@gmail.com. And the best thing you can do is actually buy one of my books. But hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Thank you for watching. You have a wonderful day.